Hello, everyone. So one of my lovely Patreons, who, again, I'm grateful for all of you, has asked me about the power of the X, which is the term that Don Lanning has given it. Don Lanning is an artist who's worked in the industry for forever. He is prominently known for, like, Star Trek. He's worked on a lot of the Aliens, trying to think of what else. He worked on Scooby-Doo, and he does these great whimsical characters. But anyway, I learned that he called it the power of the X when I watched a tutorial of his. But really, it's all about understanding the weight of skin wrinkles and how things tend to X out. And to start off, we'll look at a picture of an elephant's skin. And you can see here that it's very thick hide, but the way that it textures has to do with the way that the skin compresses and changes when the animal moves. So to recreate that type of skin, I'm just going to use this clay board right here, and I'll just do a quick swatch. I have my little loop tool. This is the W21 from Kemper. I use this for a lot of things. I've talked about it before. But the power of the X is essentially just making X's. So at its most simple, here's an X, right? But what you're going to do is kind of just do that sort of shape over and over again and add a little bit of wiggle to it. And like if you're thinking about like an elephant, like where its leg is maybe, and how it has a shift where the weight of the skin kind of sags down, that those X's are going to get more and more compressed. Okay. So this is the power of the X. And it's a real quick way to lay in skin texture. Now, I'm just going to quick clean this up a little bit so that you can see how that looks when it's softened. This is Chavant clay. I'm just using some 99% alcohol with the chip brush that's been clipped to kind of smooth that out. You can see here that it tends to read more like a rougher type of skin. There you go. So like the rough skin of an elephant or perhaps a rhino, something like that. Now this even works on our own skin. If I show you like my hand here, I don't know if you can see the wrinkles on my hand. But you can see how there's some wrinkles that go this way and wrinkles that go this way. So it's almost completely the power of the X there. And like, again, we can do that with like a cat brush. So we're just making the same grooves, just like we did with the elephant skin, but with a cat brush. And this is my tool from kenstools.com. It's just a chip brush with a 3D printed cat brush on it. You can also just use like a wire tool, something like this. This is another one of Ken's tools, but I clipped it in half so it fit in my thing, my toolbox. And here you can see how I'm, again, just doing the X's. And the multitude of the little wire pieces tends to make it look less like an X, obviously, but it's still using that same motion and creating that same compression. Just using a little bit of baby powder, you can kind of see where that's going. And again, like if you're looking at the wrinkles again on my hand, sorry, use this as an example. You can see like here, they're almost completely perfect X's. But if I compress my hand, they're starting to get a little squished, like right here. Hopefully you guys can see that on the film. Or like even here. That's the power of the X, is it tends to create a realistic texture on skin. But it's also a really great way of thinking about the way that muscles compress and then the skin shifts on that on top of it. So again, this is the power of the X. It's just a simple X motion over and over again, but it's creating that realistic skin texture. Now, you have to think about how it's going to read in terms of like obviously this is much bigger. This is going to read much better from a distance. This is not going to read at all from a distance. Like, you have to have sometimes bigger skin wrinkles and then do the power of the X at a smaller scale on top of it. So again, using my hand just because it's right here, you can see all the little tiny wrinkles, right? But if I squish my hand like that, let's see, we're getting some of that like kind of X creases right here or right here. Where like you get these big creases. And if it were to really compress, sorry, you might actually get some overlap, like the beginnings of an X right there. Any more wrinkles? So if you're like looking at, say, an elderly person, you can see that there are wrinkles like around the eyes and stuff like that that start to form this sort of cross-hatching type motion. And again, it's just a way to bring some realism into your pieces and thinking about how skin sags and moves. Hopefully that explains what the power of the X is. If you have any questions, please let me know down below and I will try my best to answer them. And always, if you need to see like a video where I'm explaining something that maybe I've talked about or that you see me doing in any of my time lapses, please, please, please let me know. And I'd be more than happy to go into it. Thank you again for supporting me, and thank you for watching. Bye.